Hey everybody, this is Harrison again, and on the side of my screen here, you can see some of the results that I've helped other guys get with their one-person businesses over and over and over and over again. You can pause it and pause the screen and read them if you want, or you can go to ctsincubator.com to see even more. And what most of these guys are doing is what I'm going to teach you how to also do in this video, and that is using your 9 to 5 to escape your 9 to 5. More specifically, using the skills that your 9 to 5 paid for you to acquire because they've been paying your salary for all these years, so that you can then go market those skills as a service to other businesses and other companies and break free once and for all from having a boss and break free from the team meetings and the all hands and the huddle meetings and Jerry and Karen's birthday parties with Walmart cake. And you never have to type, I hope this email finds you well, per my last email, ever again. You never have to say that ever again. You can be your own boss with a marketable skill. You can be like this guy. Look at this guy. You can be just like him, free, walking away from your office with a marketable skill that we already know is in demand because your current freaking company pays for it. And that is some market validation right there. And you may be saying, but Harrison, I hate my 9 to 5. Why would I want to leave my 9 to 5? But I challenge you to think about that statement for a second. Do you hate the actual work itself, or do you hate this, the musty office and the fluorescent lighting, or the 2 hours that you spend in the car commuting every day when you should be with your family? And I already talked about the emails. That's why I left. Was a big part of it was the email. I can't stand the emails, the passive aggressive emails, and the I hope this finds you well. I never wanted to say that again. So is that what's going on, or or is it that you just don't like the work? And my guess is that it leans pretty heavily toward the former. There's all these things that go along with having a 9 to 5 job that get in the way of the work that might fulfill us. And I want to teach you how to use that skill that you've got in your 9 to 5 job and forget about the 9 to 5 job. I did it myself. So how did I do it? And how have I helped countless other people do it? It starts with step one. And step one is very simply identify your marketable skill. You're going to be a detective, like a Maltese Falcon guy from the 1920s. You're going to get out your magnifying glass and you're going to figure out why your company actually pays you. And I have a handy list here. You can pause the video if you want and screenshot it or whatever you need to do. But this shows just a very few of the skills that companies currently pay money for people to perform. This is not an exhaustive list at all. It's barely 1% of what's possible out there. So if your skill, your job is on this list, great. Or if you read this list and a light bulb goes off for you and you say, okay, yeah, now I get it. I get what you're saying. I can see mine would fit nicely under XYZ category. Then that's great. There you go. That's step one. And so the idea here is your company pays you to do something, but they also have to make money off of you. So they pay you less than what you do is actually worth. And on top of that, they have to pay for all of your benefits and all of the overhead. And you better believe they're passing some of those costs on to you. So they're paying you even less than what you do is worth in terms of revenue to the company. So this is what we call an arbitrage opportunity. An arbitrage opportunity. Right now, say your company pays you, I don't know, $150,000 a year to receive $250,000 worth of value from you. Whatever the numbers are varies wildly across roles. But the point is there's a gap. There's a gap between what they pay you and what you produce for the company. And that gap always exists. It by definition exists, unless you're Twitter before Elon bought it. But there's always some amount of your value that is captured by the company and not by you. And that's where the opportunity is. And this works in so many different industries. I had a client who was being paid frickin' $60,000 a year to fundraise for his nonprofit. Has a big family, and that's what they were paying him. But every year, what he was responsible for doing, I mean, he raised multiple six figures for the nonprofit. So for every $10 he raised, he was only taking home 2 or 3 of those dollars. So what we helped him do is he went out on his own as an independent fundraiser and was able to double that amount, so up to $4 or $5 per every $10 that he raised as an independent fundraiser, because the nonprofits who hired him as a contractor didn't have to worry about all the expenses that came along with having a full-time employee. Okay, so that's step one. You figure out the skill, figure out the value that you provide to your current company, find the skill you perform, associate it as closely as possible to the revenue that you drive for your current company, and then comes step two. And step 2 is simple. You're going to make a list. You're going to make a list. You're going to be like my guy right here. You're going to pull out Google Docs, a Google Sheet, or an Excel. If you're one of those people, I'm not one of those people. I love formulas, but I don't do Excel. I mean, Google Sheets are fine for me. Thank you. And you're just going to make a list of every single company that you can find on LinkedIn who pays people to do the skill that you identified in step 1. Or alternatively, a list of people who could benefit from somebody doing the skill that you identified in step 1. And you're going to go nuts at this step. Make it the list as long as you want. I like starting with 100 people on the list. That's why it's called the Dream 100 technique. And it's one of my favorite techniques. But the idea is you're going to have a bunch of people that you can reach out to individually and have a validation conversation. I have more videos on how you have those conversations in a bunch of my other videos. So go wild, check them out, and you'll see what, if you don't know what that means, if you hadn't watched these videos, then go check those out. But you've got your list. Then comes step 3. And in step 3, we're going to package together an offer for them. And there are a ton of ways to do this. You can do what you're going to do as a consultant or as a full service agency. And a consultant is more like you giving suggestions and advice to the business based on your expertise. So the business has to implement what you say. Whereas an agency is typically you actually producing the work for them. So it's done with you versus done for you, if you've heard those terms before. But the whole offer, this whole concept, this whole offer idea, which way is it? Over there. It revolves around what I call my frictionless offer concept. And basically this just means there's a series of ways to package together your service so that there is no risk to the business for them to just say, you know what, buddy, free guy, newly free guy, soon to be free guy, let's try it. You want to make it as risk-free for them as you possibly can. And what you don't want to do, what a lot of people make a mistake who are trying to execute a plan like this, is they come out of the gate and they offer some kind of crazy high ticket recurring fee right out of the gate. And that rarely works. It's not the best way to do it. Instead, what you want to do is you give them an easy way to try you out. It's basically like a job interview. So maybe you'll set up a project for a couple $100s. That's completely refundable if they don't like it. Or you might even do what I call a service-based lead magnet, where you do a small project for them for free. There are a lot of ways to package up your offer. But in these early stages, what you're focused on is getting work and getting proof of work. And the best way to do that is to get your offer right so that you get more yeses. And then after that, you're ready for step 4, which is say hello to the world. This is your public facing launch. Everything up until now has been kind of behind the scenes. And if you're leveraging skills that your 9-to-5 taught you, I'll caveat right here and say, obviously, don't do this if there's a risk that they're going to fire you or sue you if they find out. I shouldn't have to say this, but I am not advocating breaking any terms of your employment agreement. Okay? Now that that's out of the way, assuming it is safe for you to do this, everything up until now has been kind of behind the scenes, behind closed doors, one-on-one, small group conversations, testing the waters, getting reps, getting a feel for how other companies value your skill. And now you're ready to go wide. And this is where content creation comes in. This is where personal branding comes in, your website, the logos, pitch decks, social media, all of that. This is when you do that part. And what you may have noticed if you've been contemplating something like this for a while, what I'm telling you right now probably sounds backward compared to what a lot of people teach. And they might say, you might be saying, well, I don't need content and a website and a personal brand. That's what all the other gurus tell me. No, do not get it twisted. That's all of this stuff that we're talking about here in step 4 is a total distraction until you have the fundamentals of your business and your offering down first. So don't do it backward. And a side note, here's a big reason why I preach doing it my way so hard is because I've talked to, by now, hundreds, maybe even over 1,000 aspiring entrepreneurs in in-depth conversations. And a pattern that I see over and over and over again is some combination of analysis paralysis and overthinking / over tinkering with your assets, your brand, your website, your content, your banner on LinkedIn. And I was talking to a guy the other day who has been working for 2 years. I'll say it again, 2 whole years getting his quote, content and branding right. And in all that time, what has he gained? He hasn't made a single dollar in 2 years of working on his content brand. He hasn't made a single penny. And he's managed to, and what has he gotten in return for that? He's got like 1,500 followers on X. That's it. After 2 years of work. But he hasn't tried one single time to actually sell his service to anyone. So 2 years of what basically amounts to mental self-servicing, we'll say, when if he had used that 2 years to go out and actually talk to people who might buy his thing, he'd have hundreds of thousands of dollars and enough case studies and experience to grow his social media properties way faster. So big pet peeve of mine, if you haven't noticed, take freaking action. Do it the way I describe in this video. Don't go like a pitfall. Look, he's over a cliff, right? You get it? So don't spend 3 months making a website. Just don't do it. It's the wrong thing. You're going to regret that. You don't need it. You don't need it. You need to figure out what the value that you provide is. You need to have conversations with people who need that value, and then you need to package an offer and sell it to them. That's what you do first. All right. So in conclusion, you can use your 9 to 5 to escape your 9 to 5. This is something that people do every single day. Use the skills you already have. And if your current company values them, other companies do too. And those other companies will pay more for what you do than your current company because they don't have to cover all of the ancillary expenses that come along with supporting a full-time employee. Okay. That's it. Thank you for watching. Look at her. That's freedom right there. That could be you. That could be you walking in a lake by a mountain with a hotel bathrobe on. If you like this video, like it, press the like button and give me a subscribe, please. The button's right down there. You click it. I think it still makes this cool little graphic. So you're going to want to see that. Leave a comment. And until next time, I will talk to you later.